At Cutest, we put your baby's health and happiness first. We are an online baby boutique based in Nassau. We have searched far and wide to provide you with unique products and exquisite gifts that will please modern parents looking for all natural, safe, and unique alternatives to what can be found locally. Quantities are limited, so don't delay. You've come to the right place. Visit us at cutest.com. We'll be waiting on you.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. My guest today is Natila Saunders. She's an entrepreneur, she's a super mom, a businesswoman, born and bred Jamaican. We're so happy to have you. I'm actually glad that Natila carved out 2 minutes to spend with us, because anybody who knows Natila knows that she is almost always working. She is front and center in her business. So welcome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you.
Thank you for having me.
So this is going to be I want to say a lively chat, because this is the first time that we've spoken on camera. I mean, we always talk off camera, right? We're always communicating, always sharing stories. Now we're going to share stories with my guests and with my audience and yours too.
Yes.
Because at YouTube, we're in a social media generation, and so, but I think it'll be great for people to hear your story outside of the spa,
yes,
and outside of them coming to see you. So now you're going to be in their phones and in their homes, etc., etc. So it's so good to have you. Let's talk about who Natila is, the woman, the businesswoman, the friend, the mother. Let's talk about you.
Okay, so I'm the owner of Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon. I've been in the business for about 18 years. I started at the age of 24, so that was very, very young.
Yeah.
I'm also the mom of the beautiful Leah.
Yes.
She keeps me super busy.
Charismatic, full of energy.
Yes, full of energy. But I'm the second of 4 kids. My mom has 4 of us. I'm the only girl.
Wow.
I was born in Jamaica, and I came here at the age of about 8 or 9. So I've pretty much spent most of my life here in the Bahamas.
Okay. Do you remember your childhood in Jamaica at all?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I grew up with, when my mother moved to the Bahamas at the age of 26, she took the leap of faith and moved here to the Bahamas. She left us with our grandmother. So I spent most of those days growing up with my grandmother.
Okay.
I had a simple, normal childhood.
Yeah.
Learning responsibilities, going to work with my grandmother. My grandmother is also an entrepreneur, and my mother. So
wow. So you couldn't escape it.
I couldn't escape it. So I've been grounded from a little kid, I was being groomed from a little kid, not knowing that one day I'll have my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And is that kind of what you were inspired to do? Like, did you ever want to work for? Did you ever want to go out and get a job, or did you always say, okay, Grammy did it, Mommy did it, I'm gonna do it as well?
Actually, my career choice was not to be a skincare specialist initially. I actually wanted to be a lawyer.
Really?
Yes. So, I thought about it, going off to college, all of those stuff. But my real passion is actually skincare. So once I realized what my passion was, I definitely went for it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be an attorney. I went to COB, well, COB at the time.
Well, UB now.
Yeah, I went to COB. Definitely didn't... whatever I was studying, I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I developed an early passion for skincare. And... I came across a quote one time that says, find your passion and let it pay your bills. So that's exactly what I did. I don't know if I told you that my mom is also an entrepreneur. So
yes.
She basically paved the way for me to be where I am right now. Yeah, so it's been a long journey, an interesting story actually. How I got started in my skincare industry, in the skincare industry, is my mom. She always took very good care of her skin, and so I used to go in her room. She always I guess she took pride in the products that she used. So she
Yeah.
used to use like the fashion fair products, all the stuff from Mademoiselle.
Yes.
If you remember Mademoiselle from back in the
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so she was like one of their biggest customers. So I used to use her stuff. And of course, she used to be upset because these things are very expensive.
Yes.
So of course, I got into a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
Got some cut hip for using her expensive stuff. So what she did when she realized that she couldn't beat that passion out of me, she actually went and she purchased a book with natural skincare remedies. So instead of being in
Really?
her room using her products,
Yes.
I was in the kitchen making my own
Making.
concoction. So that's how I
Wow.
started on my journey
Yeah.
of being a skincare professional.
And did you actually make things?
I did.
Really?
Anybody who knows me from high school know that I used to gather all the girls and we used to go to the bathroom. I made stuff like avocado mask.
From high school?
From high school.
Wow.
So instead of going out playing,
or partying.
or
Yeah.
having little girl chats, we
Yeah.
would be in the bathroom putting on our little masks and educating them about skincare. I
Yeah.
remember one of my friends, he was the only boy in my classroom, and he
Mhm.
said, Natila, you have such a natural knack for this, you should really consider becoming a skincare specialist. And from that
Boom.
day, the rest is history.
That was it.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, so my mom as well, because I grew up in a single parent home.
Mhm.
And so it was my mom, after she left Jamaica, my dad was left behind. And
Yeah.
so she worked hard. She was so supportive of our dreams. And
Mhm.
once she realized that I had a passion for it, she was able to assist me
Mhm.
with, sending me off to college to
Yeah.
pursue my dreams. And
Mhm.
even the birth of Skin Solutions, it was because of her encouragement,
Yeah.
because she believed in me.
Yes.
She helped to make just a little seed.
Yeah.
And so I started Skin Solutions inside of my mother's TV room.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started from very, very humble beginnings. I
Yeah.
started in my mother's TV room.
Mhm.
I used to have one client per week.
Yeah.
So I
they were
literally,
coming in.
yes, I
Yes.
literally grew the business from scratch. Yeah, I
Wow.
literally grew Skin Solutions from scratch. So
Wow.
Skin Solutions started when I was 24. So like I said, I never worked for anybody in the skincare industry. I
Mhm.
started my own business right in mommy's TV room. And 2 years later, with the money that I accumulated, I built, we had a gazebo.
Yeah.
And so we transformed the gazebo into a little skincare office. And so I had a tiny little office.
Where
Very,
you
very
did your
tiny.
consultations.
Where I did my consultations,
facials.
my treatments, and everything. But I always had such a passion for my business. So I always tell people it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Absolutely.
And so I started from really humble beginnings,
Mhm.
having like 1 or 2 clients per week. I could remember working like a full day, my first day working a full day and having like clients coming in.
Really?
So it took a while.
Wow.
Like the journey was not easy,
No.
but I remained, consistent
For
because
sure.
I loved it, because it didn't feel like work. It just was my passion, just
Mhm.
pursuing my passion.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how it all started.
Wow. So
Mhm.
you made your passion your paycheck.
Yes, definitely. And I continue to do so up to this day.
Yeah. No, I definitely
Mhm.
know that people can sense your passion
Mhm.
almost from just conversing with you.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably like, I need to go and see her. Or seeing you speak, or maybe they see something on social media. It's like sponsored content, and they're
Uh-huh.
like, "She sounds like she
Yeah.
knows what she's talking about.
Thank
I
you.
need to go make
Thank
an
you.
appointment to see her." Or just even photos or
Mhm.
something that you may have,
Yeah.
said. Even this interview is probably gonna. I'm sure it will. We're speaking that people are gonna just like they're gonna understand what you're saying and they're gonna grasp
Uh-huh.
it, and it'll be like that. I need to start.
So I would advise anybody, like, if you want to start something, no matter what it is, just go
do it.
do it. Because once you have that passion and that determination,
Mm-hmm.
you
The
would
sky's the
soar.
limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. And
Yeah.
you have to keep reinventing yourself, because that's what I did. Because there was a point where I got a little bit bored, but
Mhm.
not bored whereas I wanted to make change or
Yeah.
deviate from what I'm doing. But you have to keep building. You have to keep getting, being innovative and get creative,
Yeah.
because that's how you grow.
And keeping up with what's happening
The
in your
latest
industry.
trends. Yeah. And sometimes the latest trend isn't necessarily what you are supposed
right.
to do.
Mhm.
So you just have to make sure that whatever the core of your business is, you stick to that, and
Mhm.
then you can,
Yeah.
grow.
And then you go from
Yeah,
there.
you don't have to follow what everybody
No,
do. Yeah,
no, because we're not about that.
exactly.
Which is kind of the opposite of what an entrepreneur is. Because if you're
Exactly.
following what everybody is doing,
Exactly. And you have to be creative, obviously.
Yeah.
You have to be creative, but you have to keep reinventing yourself. Keep
Mhm.
reinventing yourself.
so with that being said, is that something that you have passed on to Leah? Leah is Natila's daughter, by the way. We totally jumped into into entrepreneurship, but is that something that you have passed on to her, or that you feel like you're passing on to her?
I think so because I'm creative by nature and
Mhm.
she's extremely creative. She's
Mm.
into arts. She likes to do DIY projects. And
Mhm.
remember, that's how I started.
Yes.
I started making my own little
whipping up
concoctions.
the avocado
Right.
masks.
So now, she's into making, I call her a little at home chemist, a
Mhm.
chemist in the making.
Mhm.
But she's into like bath bombs
Mhm.
and we make soaps as well. So she's definitely moving in that direction.
Wow.
So, I'm not going to impose my passion on her,
Mhm.
but, basically I'm sowing the seed, whereas she can create her own path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I feel like they watch you,
Mm-hmm.
and they may not necessarily mimic you, but I feel like they definitely, okay, mommy's doing this.
Mhm.
Okay, mommy has her own business. Wow, she saw that client, and
Mm-hmm.
that person came out happy, even if it's just
Yes.
a smile. They're like, oh, and she's working until this hour, and or even though she works sometimes this late, oh, tomorrow we're going to the pool,
Yes.
or so there's good. I don't call it balance. I kind of call it harmony, right?
And another thing, what I've been noticing about her, she's into making slime, and she's talking about, making slime she's talking about, business, opening her own slime shop, or um, she makes what else? She's into fashion designing as well, so she'll get like an old shirt or something and
Yeah.
cut off the sleeves, make little crop tops, and she's making it for her friends as
The
well.
tops that you
But
buy.
she's actually talking about, getting into business.
Yeah.
Mom, how about I open up my own slime shop? So she's getting into it definitely.
But and it's because of you.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so.
Wow.
I think so.
I think they see like the passion and the drive and the
Mhm.
energy that you put
Mhm.
into what you're doing, and so it's almost like them being in this environment
Mhm.
and them subliminally just kind of
Mhm.
they're kind of like, for lack of a better word, they're sucking it up.
Yes,
You
no
know?
sponges.
Yeah. So they're sponges. They
Yeah.
literally eat it, they breathe it, they
Mhm.
see it. There are examples all around of it. They hear
Yes.
you on phone calls. They, and
Yes.
so subliminally, like, it starts to happen.
Mhm.
Even if it's not in skincare, it could be in other
Yes.
industries. But at the core of it, I can see myself doing this.
Mhm.
Well, mommy did it well, and oh, I remember when mommy did this,
Mhm.
and that's a good example.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
So Leah is 7.
She's 7, yes.
She's 7. What has this 7-year-old taught you about life?
Patience.
That you
Patience,
that you-
patience. And also, humility.
Mhm.
Learning to apologize,
To her.
to her. And that's something that I want to instill in her as well, not being so prideful, not
Mhm.
feeling as if you're so arrogant, whereas you cannot come down and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that is something that's something that that I try to instill in her.
Mhm.
So, and she's very expressive as well. I believe in making sure that she has her own voice, that she's not afraid to speak
And
up,
that she's heard.
and that she's heard. And so, but what I try to create is balance with her, because she can be a bit, a little passionate.
Yeah.
And she can, get really angry. And one of the things that I try to drive home is, you can be angry, but there's no excuse for being rude. You can
Right.
express yourself, but you don't have to be rude.
Mhm.
And so she is now getting in the habit of, if I offend her, she comes to me, Mommy, what you did, it hurt my feelings. I'm hurt. And I then in turn say, baby, I'm sorry. Because, an apology, a genuine apology, is so healing.
Yes.
It's very healing. So
Yeah.
I strongly believe in making sure that while I'm creating balance, that she is humble as well, and she
Yeah.
can come back and say, "Mom, I am sorry."
That is I want to say, like, our parents, of course they were well intentioned,
Hmm.
but that's not the way that we were brought up.
No, no, no.
No.
You mad? You're getting boxed down.
Yeah, that's it. And
You
don't
know?
backtalk me.
Don't backtalk me.
And what has
so-
hurt your feelings? I don't
Exactly.
think so. And
I
it's a
pay all the
different time.
bills. I pay
Yeah.
all the bills. What you mean you hurt? So
Yeah.
it has been it does definitely has impacted us
Mhm.
or affected us as adults, because sometimes we find ourselves in situations and we don't know how to talk. You know,
Right.
we don't know how to express ourselves.
Mhm.
So that's something that I definitely don't. I want to like
Yeah, change that.
change
dynamic.
that for her.
Yeah.
Change our dynamic.
Yeah.
You can speak, you can express yourself, but
Mhm.
you want to make sure you express yourself respectfully.
Yeah. For
You know?
Sure.
But there's nothing wrong with being upset.
Mhm.
Speak your mind,
Mhm.
but make sure you're respectful.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you try to talk to mommy about that, child, please.
I mean, I finished with that. So what do you?
Yeah, so that's not something that I want to continue. I want to
No.
just end that cycle.
No,
right
and when
now.
you know better,
Mhm.
you do better.
Right.
Yeah, and you want them to know, like, because you're busy, meaning work has you
Mhm.
consumed, your passion has you consumed.
Right.
So when you are able to spend some time with them, when you are able
Mhm.
to, you know, create or continue that relationship
Mhm.
with them, it's like, okay, I want to show her that yes, I'm passionate about what I'm doing, but I'm also a mom, and I will discipline
Right.
you, but
I do discipline her now,
yeah.
but not the old-fashioned way.
No, and like I said, like, when you know better, you do better.
Mhm.
And I feel like with the way things have changed so much, you definitely want to make sure, like, you're doing your best where your
Right.
kids are concerned. You make sure they feel, like they feel like they are seen, heard.
Mhm.
Yes, she's my mom, but
Right.
to a certain extent, like, she's my friend. I can go to her. I can talk to her about
Right.
anything.
Exactly.
More so that, not necessarily a friend, but that I
I
can
know.
talk to her about anything.
Just make sure that their feelings are validated.
For sure.
Yeah,
Because you don't
so-
want to validate it outside of,
Exactly.
No.
I want
It
somebody
should-
else to validate
you
it.
know, it should be there because that leads to problems.
Yes.
It should be validated
Mhm.
at home at first.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's definitely a good thing. Let's see. What else do I want to ask you about Leia? All right. What I should ask you is, what was your relationship with your mom like? Or what is your relationship with your mom
We are
like?
very close.
Yeah.
We
She's
talk
your best
every
friend.
single day. Yes. And
Wow.
it's the same thing with Leia, but my mom and I are extremely close,
Mhm.
so you can't get between us.
No. No.
Yeah.
And Natila recently did a photo shoot.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness,
Mhm.
wearing all Bahama handprints, I
Yes,
must
yes,
say.
yes.
So beautiful.
Beautiful. I love it.
And like, the photos are so gorgeous. They are gorgeous. I think we're gonna use one of them for our parenting tips, and maybe even like for a headshot. But we're
Yeah.
definitely gonna show that because
Mhm.
especially your photo with Leia, and you're
Thank you.
so gorgeous.
I love
so
it.
gorgeous, and the fact that your mom was in it,
And you can see, well
you can
no.
see through the. I mean,
Yeah.
I
No,
feel
you
like
weren't there, but
Oh, okay.
we have such an amazing relationship.
yeah, but I feel like through great photos, great photos make you feel
you feel
something,
the energy.
and
yeah.
you can see.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness,
Yes.
so touching.
Yes,
But they
mommy
were
is my
amazing.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that as a business owner, like, you tend to run things by her? Not necessarily the ins and outs, but more so, mommy, I want to know what you think about this, or this is something that was happening, whether she gives her advice or not.
Definitely, mommy
Yeah.
knows everything that goes on in Skin Solutions. She knows
Wow.
everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, she's been, like I said, my inspiration. She's been the one who sowed that seed. So obviously, if there's something that I need help with, I would
Yeah.
go to her, and she's an old-fashioned businesswoman. So the way how we do things are different, but
Mhm.
then
At the
I
core
still
of
go
it.
to her. Yes, at the core of it, she's definitely a smart businesswoman. So I've learned so many things from her, and so of course I trust her advice.
Mhm.
So if I have an issue, if I'm thinking about something, if I'm maybe second guessing myself, I will go to her, and she's always very supportive,
Yeah.
always there with a word of encouragement,
Mhm.
and even if she's unsure, she still encourages
supportive.
me. She's very supportive.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
So whether she agrees with you or not, she would still provide like advice that's not necessarily. It
And
may not be for you, but at the end of the day, she's
yeah,
still.
and she's like my she's like an advisor. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm going through certain things, and
Mhm.
sometimes you're upset about one or two things, and you might want to make an emotional decision. So she's always there to keep me grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, calm
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
First of
Slow
all.
your roll.
It's gonna be okay.
Yes.
If it doesn't matter in 5 minutes, it won't matter in
Yes.
5 months.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Yeah. So she's there to give like she's what's the word, like basically, like for lack of a better word, my advisor.
Yeah. I want to say like they
the
provide
voice of reason.
right.
Yes,
a
the voice of reason.
realistic approach
Yes.
to this.
Mhm.
Like, are you really gonna knock them
Yeah.
out?
Now think about it.
Yeah. Calm down. It's gonna be okay.
Yes.
What is it that you really want to say?
Mhm.
What is it that you
Mhm.
really want to do? Do you really want to go to that extent?
Exactly.
Or do you want to just take a minute, sleep on it, and then
Mhm.
revisit it
Definitely.
in the morning? 'Cause
Yeah.
you'll feel totally
Definitely.
different.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the way to go. They onto something. Most times we're just like all in our feelings.
I know.
So we don't.
Exactly.
But they're usually right.
Mhm.
They're usually right.
Mommy knows best.
How do you feel about the industry? And when I say that, well, I should ask more specifically. How have you been able to pivot in this industry in a pandemic?
Well, Skin Solutions has been doing very well. Like,
Mhm.
we've grown so much, especially over the last 3-4 years. We've grown
Yeah.
so much, and
Mhm.
then the pandemic came.
So
Then COVID
human
came, and we just had to shut down completely.
Yes.
But during that time, it gave me, time to just rethink business,
Mhm.
the way forward.
Yeah.
So the 3 months that we were shut down, it was actually good for me. I was
Yeah.
able to rest a bit,
Mhm.
bond more with my daughter,
Yes.
and think about business, the changes that we have to implement moving forward. So
Mhm.
some of the changes that we had to implement, it wasn't anything strange for us because, the new normal, like the stringent sanitizing and
Mhm.
disinfecting and even
Yeah.
wearing masks.
You guys have always.
We've always done it.
Yeah.
And then, the core of my business is, yes, it's wellness, but it's also safety.
Mhm.
Because we want to make sure when people come to the spa that they are relaxed, but they are safe as well. So it wasn't that difficult to transition into
Right.
the new normal.
Mhm.
Of course, certain things we had to do more differently, like, making sure that we implement more disposables
Mhm.
and so it was more about just adapting, but we were always stringent with our measures. So it wasn't really so difficult. But it has taught us a lot, how
I'm
to
sure.
appreciate the simple things.
Human contact.
Human contact, it was different because, when people come to the spa, customers, we're comfortable, we hug them and whatever. So that was a big change to adopt,
Yeah.
not hugging. It felt so weird. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but
The
Post-
fist bump or
yes,
whatever. Yeah.
getting back into the swing of things was a bit difficult. Was in some regards, it was a bit difficult, but it wasn't that difficult getting back into it. But
Yeah.
with some changes, we definitely, some changes we had to adapt, but it was quite easy. The
Yeah.
transition was pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I've spoken with various business owners, and some of them actually, because let me backtrack. In the news, if you listened to the news, they would have told you everything's going to shut down. The building's burning down. Nobody's going to make money anymore. It's all downhill, right? But I've spoken with business owners here and abroad, and it's almost like certain industries there's been an uptick.
Honestly,
Yeah.
for us,
Mm-hmm.
we went right back as if nothing happened because, like I was saying, before COVID, you couldn't even get an appointment with me. Honestly, you couldn't even get an appointment with me. I was very, very busy.
Yeah.
And then it just shut down abruptly.
Right.
And, when I went back, I went right back into
It was like business as
it was
usual.
like business as
Just
usual.
with protocols in place.
Just with protocols in place.
Mhm.
So the beauty industry, what we realize, it's almost recession proof because women want to look good, they want to feel
It really
good,
is.
so they came back to the spa and it was fine. Like
Yeah.
we continue to do well. We
Yeah.
still continue to do well. Of course, there are ups and downs
Yeah.
because right after we went back, there was some. We had to shut back down again,
Lockdowns
and then on the weekends, it was again, we were abruptly shut down on the weekends, and weekend is our busiest.
Right.
So it was some growing pains, but
Sure.
we learned to just go with the flow.
Yeah.
And it's still, things are still very good for us.
Yeah,
Women want to look good, so
Mhm.
it's time
Yeah, they
to,
want to look and feel good,
yeah,
especially moms.
yeah, so regardless of what, we still getting our hair done. We still want to get our facials done, our lashes.
Yes.
So look good, feel good. So,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
And again, like especially moms, like they pour so much into the family and into the
Yes.
kids. So I feel like you almost encourage women without telling you to come and spend your money with
Yes.
me. Like regardless who
Mhm.
you go to, because there are amazing businesses on the island that
Mhm.
are skincare, spas, salons,
Mhm.
like any type of business that
Mhm.
encourages a woman to just take care of yourself, because you cannot pour from an
That
empty
is
cup.
so important.
Mhm.
Like self-care is so important. And
Yeah.
we encourage women to come in, unplug, get away from the kids. There's nothing wrong with it. I remember before becoming a mom, I used to hear moms say, I got a break from my kids and I'm so happy. And I couldn't wrap my mind around that. Like, how you could feel happy not being around your kids.
Oh,
But
it's easy.
now, hello, I know now. Like, I understand and I could appreciate that so much. It's important to take a mental day
Mhm.
and take care of yourself, because if you are not in that right state of mind, it's going to reflect everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to impact the kids. So it's important to unplug, take care of yourself, and that way you could be a great mom.
Yeah. And how do you unplug? I know you didn't see that coming. How do
Well,
you unplug?
Oh boy, I don't want to sound like a nerd or anything,
Yeah.
right? But Leia's father and I, we co-parent, and we
Mhm.
co-parent very well.
Yeah.
And so on the days when she visits him, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm wondering if it's a 40s thing, or, you know.
Wait, I didn't
But
even know
no,
what
we
you were
value,
saying yet, but
no, I value my alone time. So
I
my time when she's away with her dad,
you just
I just go home and I relax. So my typically what I do for my me time,
she's gonna find it right now.
I would
She's gonna be like, oh, that's what you be doing.
typically I'll after work I'll order sushi. It's like a celebration. Honestly, I love you, Leia. Right? It's a celebration. So I'll order sushi,
Oh my
get a bottle of
goodness.
wine.
Oh.
I go home
Yeah.
and I relax.
Nothing
and
has
that's
to be
it.
fixed. Nobody's asking me for something.
No, and usually usually at that time the house is immaculate.
Yeah.
So I go home and I relax and I watch Smallville. That's Superman.
What? But you know what? This is what makes you happy.
Listen, I've been so obsessed with Smallville.
So you've
It is
been
crazy.
binge-watching
I've been
stuff.
binge watching Smallville. Seriously.
Great. That's what we did during the pandemic.
Listen, I've been binge watching Smallville, and that is my way of having some me time. I mean, of course, I own the spa, so
Yeah.
I get my manicures, and so it's
But
it's not
you're still
necessarily a
in there.
treat, if you know what I mean,
Yes,
because that
yes.
is my workplace. But
Yeah.
my idea of my me time, when I unplug, is just alone time. Honestly, I value that so much. It's incredible.
I I can't imagine that, because I mean, again, like you said, the business is yours,
Mhm.
so it's not. I mean, you might be sitting and getting a manicure, but you're looking over to see what the next client is doing.
Or I'm in
the
my
procedures,
in my
you're sending
laptop. I'm still
emails,
working
you're
or
ordering
whatever.
stuff.
So
You're
yes,
thinking about the next move.
but I do take time off. But
Mhm.
as a business owner, I'm still working.
You're
So
always,
I have
yeah.
to I have to be intentional
Mm-hmm.
in terms of taking time, because it's so important for me to just regroup and
Yes.
rethink things. So I
Mhm.
need that alone time to unplug. So I'll just turn
Yeah.
off everything, order some sushi, pour some wine, even put on a mask or something like that, watch some Smallville.
Yeah.
And that's me. And then, that is short lived, of course, because it's not like I have the entire week off,
Right.
but I just embrace those quiet moments just to get away from everything. And then, of
Yeah.
course, the madness continues again. But I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I experienced that recently when Riley went to school. So
Yeah.
initially she did 2 days,
Mm.
and now she's up to 4,
Yeah.
and it's only half days.
Okay.
But the first day so this was, they go in phases, so they're
Mhm.
screaming,
Uh-huh.
and then it kind of comes down to, okay, maybe a little bit of crying,
Mhm.
but every time it's like, okay, bye. And the first day that usually I would stay in the area just to make
Right.
sure, like, if anything happens, I could just
Okay.
run there, right? The first day I came home, when I felt like she was comfortable enough,
Mhm.
I came home and there was silence.
Mhm.
I haven't experienced that in 2 years.
Listen, that's amazing. That's the most beautiful sound. That is the most beautiful
If
sound.
silence had a sound,
Trust me, that's the most beautiful sound.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, this is the point where we've reached success.
Listen, I was so happy when she went back to school.
Oh, don't talk about that.
Last March was
Interesting.
interesting to say the
Yes.
very least.
Yes.
It was just a lot, business was shut down.
So you're
It's-
wondering what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be maybe for 2 weeks.
No.
But I had no idea it was going to be 3 weeks.
I don't think anybody knew.
And, on top of it, you're home, you're dealing with everything, this, what you call it, the uncertainty
Mhm.
of everything. And then you're schooling them.
Yeah.
You're not trained to be a teacher,
And you're
but
not
you're
a teacher.
schooling
Yeah.
the kids. So I remember when September came and I was like, listen,
When
these
you're
kids
opening.
gotta go back to school.
Hi.
And it wasn't looking good. And I was so happy when
Yeah.
Meridian sent that email. School would be in session
Yeah.
face to face. I was like, thank you, God.
Yeah. Because on one hand, you're like, I'm sending my child back to school,
Mhm.
and I don't know who has COVID, and what's the probability that the kids are going to get anything? You're thinking way ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other hand, the schools are like, okay, we got this. Like,
Yeah.
these are the protocols we put in
Mhm.
place, like that sort of thing.
I
So
was happy. I
yeah.
know some parents were like, you feel comfortable sending your daughter back to there?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, the protocols, once everything was in place, I was
Yeah.
at ease. But that was such a time when it was, like, it was a lot.
It was a
honestly,
lot,
it was
yeah.
tough because you're worried about business. You're trying to teach. You're stepping into some kind of a different realm,
Mhm.
that you're not accustomed to. So it was a difficult time. But but God,
Yeah.
yeah.
2 things. What advice would you give your younger self at, say, 35? You had Leah
Learn.
when you in your early 30s.
Yeah.
And so let's say in your late 20s,
Yeah.
what advice would you give your younger self?
Learn to accept the things that I couldn't change. Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah. And I learned to accept the things you couldn't change because I used to worry about stuff. I'm a perfectionist by nature.
Recovering.
And so, yes, I'm a recovering one. So
Yeah.
I used to beat myself up and I used to worry a lot. And I've learned to just accept the things you cannot change and
Yeah.
don't stress,
Yeah.
because
The
tomorrow is
serenity
another
prayer.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow is another day.
Mhm.
And so that's what I've been doing now. Like I stop stressing myself, but if I can't get something done, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna make bed.
Yeah.
Like I honor my feelings. So I believe in honoring my feelings.
Mhm.
And if it's something that I cannot change, I know that time will heal
Yes.
and time will change all things,
That is a word.
Yeah, I used to stress myself out a lot, but
Yeah.
I don't anymore.
And you're at
and
peace.
I'm at peace.
Yeah.
And, like things that happened over the past few years have shaped me, have changed me in so many ways.
Mhm.
I've had to learn to be more in control of my emotions as
Mhm.
well, not to make emotional decisions.
Yeah.
So I've grown so much over the last
So the
few
person
years.
in 2017 is not the same
Oh
person
no.
today, okay?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is a different woman.
My goodness.
So, there are different stages in your life where you you change, you grow. Like you
Yeah.
can actually feel it. You
I
can
was just gonna
see
say,
it.
you can feel
Yes.
yourself
So
growing.
your lease on life changes. So
Mhm.
I believe, the way how I used to think back in my 20s,
Mhm.
definitely has changed.
Yeah.
The way how I used to think back in 2017
Mhm.
or before that, it has changed so much.
Yeah.
It has changed
And
so
we
much.
celebrate those things.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
The milestones, the growth. You know, my mom always used to tell me I have a don't care attitude, but it's not that. It's just that I don't believe in stressing myself out over things
Agreed.
that I cannot change. But
Agreed.
yes, without going into too much
Yeah.
details, like I've grown so much as a person,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful for the experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. And
Yeah.
lastly, what will you never take for granted again?
I will never take for granted. I will never take for granted. I can't even think about that right now.
That's okay. Some people say traveling. Some people say human interaction.
I will never take for granted. I can't even think about that right now. I'm sorry.
Some people say human interaction. Some people say traveling. Some people say the ability to just make my own decisions. The ability to not wear a mask. Like, I hope in the studio somebody like deep sigh. It's a lot.
Yeah, I'll never take for granted. Just life on the whole. You threw me off a while
That's
ago
okay.
because I don't, I experienced the loss of an
Yes.
amazing employee.
Yes.
And one of the things that the last word I said to her was, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy that those were my last words to her. So I will never take for granted anybody, any relationship, any opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to, just let the person know how I feel. If I've hurt you
Yes.
before, I would never take for granted that we have time,
Mm-hmm.
and time is here to stay.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
It's
you
not.
never know
Mm-hmm.
when is your last opportunity to say, I am sorry,
Yes.
or I love you.
Yes.
You have me emotional right now.
I know, but you're doing good. You're doing really, really good.
Yeah, so I'll never take anybody for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never take anybody for granted. So, yeah.
Thank you guys.
Mm.
This is great.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good. Thank you guys for
Yeah.
joining us for this Natila. I'm so happy that you and Leah
Mhm.
joined us on set. She was such a great sport. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We will see you on the next edition of Let's Chat with Tonya Lightbourne. Take care.
Bye.
You did great.
Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, you made it to the end of our video. If you'd like to reach out, email us at letschat@tonyawilliamslightbourne.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more exciting sessions. Cheers.